What up, my people? So the topic of racism is a very important subject for me because I truly, from the bottom of my heart, I believe in equality. And I don't just believe in the equality of men and women, but I also believe in the equality of all people. That your skin color, your religion, your background, how you dress, what kind of education you have, how many followers you have, or whatever, that does not in any way or form define what type of person you are or amount to the value of you in some way. You get me? It's constantly a battle of our society, and we talk about it, but we don't really talk about it correctly, and we don't really offer solutions that actually can work. And I'm not saying I have the solution to it all. Definitely not. I don't think this is something one person can fix. I think this is something that we can all fix together, or at least freaking try to fix together. And I don't think it's a problem that will be solved overnight. Don't get me wrong. I don't live in a world where everything is a freaking utopia. I don't believe racism will forever exist. I don't believe that war will forever exist. I believe in unity, in peace, in equality. These are things that I believe in. I live my life believing in these things. I preach these things on a daily to anyone I can, to myself including. And I don't care if there's going to be people telling me that I'm delusional or that I'm crazy for thinking that world peace will one day happen, or that people will one day realize that we're all equal and we're all one. I don't care if you think negatively about this. I don't. And I think positive on it. Even if it might not happen in my lifetime, it doesn't make a difference to me. It doesn't make a difference in the sense that I'm not going to stop doing the things that I need to do because somebody believes this is never going to happen. Yeah, if we were to all think it's never going to happen, it'll never happen. And if we were to all think that, you know what, it will happen. If every single one of us tries to make this happen, why wouldn't it happen? I saw a psychologist, a therapist, while I was in university, and it was truly one of the best things I ever did for myself in my lifetime so far. It allowed me to just speak to a professional the same way you go to a physician when your stomach hurts, when you have some kind of problem with your body that way, or you go to an eye doctor, an optometrist or whatever when there's something wrong with your eyes, or you go to, I don't know, whatever specialist for different parts of your body hurting. A psychologist or some kind of therapist is there for you for when there's something wrong up here. And that doesn't necessarily mean mental illnesses or anything like that. It just means you're having difficulty with some part of your life and you need a professional, the same way you need a professional for anything else. There's nothing wrong ever at all with going to a psychologist. I think you can get a lot of things fixed through talking to the right person and to someone who is not in your life regularly. It's different than a friend, it's different than your parents, it's different than a sibling, it's completely different than that. Anyways, one of the biggest, most important lessons that I learned from this person was that often in our lives, we love to point fingers. When we're having a discussion with someone, we love to say, for example, you hurt me, you did this to me, you did that to me, you made me feel like this, you. We point fingers, and we make it that we're just attacking the other person, even if they're wrong, and even if they're not wrong, it doesn't matter. This is the way we handle situations, problems in our lives. Usually, we completely point fingers, and we don't want to necessarily try to understand the other person's perspective. Even if they may be wrong, we still don't want to understand it. That was one of the biggest lessons that he taught me, my psychologist, that instead of when you're speaking to someone and you want them to understand what you're going through, don't you them, okay? Instead, I them. So for example, instead of saying, you hurt me, you did this to me, say, I was really hurt by that. Or I experienced life differently, or I go through this, or this happened to me. Do you get what I'm saying? The whole point is to not point fingers. The whole point of it is to try to get them to understand your perspective without blaming them, without putting fault on the other, and without diminishing what they felt or what they went through. And I think one of the biggest problems that we have in terms of racism is that we're always trying to one-up one another in the sense that, like, oh, well, who has it worse? Do Black people have it worse? Do Latins have it worse? Do Middle Easterns have it worse? Do white people have it worse? Who has it worse? To me, that is the dumbest most ridiculous way to try to get someone to understand that your life is difficult because of your skin color or because of whatever situation you have going on in your life. How could someone understand where you're coming from if you're attacking them in understanding you? If you're, for example, let's say for example, I'm a black person and I'm talking to a white person and I'm like, you know what, you'll never understand it because you're freaking white and I'm black and you're never gonna get what my life is like. Or let's say I'm a white person and I'm talking to like a black person and I'm like, you know what, you're never gonna freaking understand that my life is like this because of my skin color. I'm discriminated against. Nobody thinks that I can be discriminated against because I'm white. They think I'm privileged, blah, 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 whatever, and so on. And I think that itself is the problem. Why can't we just accept the fact that no matter what skin color you are, no matter what background and walk of life you come from, we all experience a shitty life despite that. Now, some may experience it worse than others because that is just the shortcoming of us as human beings, the shortcomings of humanity as a whole. Why can't we just accept the fact that people live different lives, therefore they experience life differently? You can never experience life through my shoes, through my eyes, and I can never do with you, even if we have the same exact skin color, the exact same background. It's never gonna happen. We are unique individuals experiencing life in a completely different way, even if we live our day-to-day lives the same way, even if we're the same skin color, even if we're the same religion, it doesn't matter. We will experience life differently just because life will never, ever, ever treat anyone the same. That's just not how shit works. And I think that's the problem. The problem is that we want others to understand our pain, our sufferings, the discrimination that happens to us, but we're never willing to hear the other person, and we're never willing to accept that someone could have it as bad or a different bad as us. Or maybe to them that is a worse situation than yours. Maybe they perceive their situation to be equal to yours. Maybe they perceive it to be worse than yours. One person's discrimination doesn't take away from another person's discrimination. Or one person going through a racist whatever with someone doesn't mean that another doesn't. For example, let's say you're Mexican and you're being discriminated against because you're Mexican. It doesn't take away from the black guy that's being discriminated against or the white guy that's being discriminated against. It doesn't change that in any way or form. One doesn't mean the other doesn't exist. Do you get what I'm saying? Now, I'm not sitting here saying, okay, this is the problem and I have all the solutions or anything like that. I don't. But I have one solution. And my solution is listening to what my psychologist told me, that instead of trying to tell you what you did wrong or that you don't understand my situation because you don't have my skin color or so whatever, so on. Instead of that, why don't we try to understand that the other person can also be going through things that we don't understand? For example, if I'm black, let's say, I'm just giving you guys examples, okay? I'm none of these things that I'm saying really, okay? Who knows what the hell is really in me, and I don't give a shit, okay? Because when I see someone going through some kind of racist situation, I am black, I am white, I am Mexican, I am Middle Eastern, I am whatever they are, because to me, we're all one. If you're getting discriminated against because of your skin color or because of whatever, that to me is happening to me as well. If you're beside me and I'm seeing this happen to you, and even if I don't freaking know you, that discrimination is happening to me because I believe you are one of me. No matter what your skin color is, no matter what your religion is, what your sexual orientation is, we are the same. We are one. And it is my shortcoming just as much as it is your shortcoming if we don't address the situation, if we don't deal with it as though it's happening to us. I'm like flaring up from this. Like, do you see this? Like, I get very passionate about what I'm talking about, especially this topic. It's truly a very important topic for me and for a lot of people. And I just truly believe that, see, I can't even talk about it because it makes me sad to see that not only do we not understand one another when we're talking about this, but we're so busy in trying to compete with one another in who has it worse that really none of us have it good. None of us have it as good as we should. We forget the fact that we're all the same. Like, we bleed the same color. I'm not trying to throw cliches out there, but You know, there's a reason why cliches are out there, and I don't know, man. I just need a break. I'm sorry, I really didn't expect that to happen. So, anyway, I don't want to be Debbie Downer and shit, so let's move on. But I just wanted to put this out there, so next time you want to tell someone that they don't understand your situation, try to just first think that you probably don't understand theirs either. And there's nothing wrong with that because we can explain things to each other. But the minute that you're pointing fingers and you're saying you don't get it and you're this, so therefore you will never understand, blah, 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 whatever, trust me, you're never ever gonna make them understand because you're just blaming them. You're just pointing fingers and nobody will ever come around by you doing that. It's just never gonna happen. Rather than that, try to understand their situation and try to make them understand that we all have difficulties in our lives, that we all go through things, and it's difficult for all of us just in different ways. And definitely some people have it worse, and those situations we all have to address, not just the people of that color, not just the people of that background, that if it's happening to one of us, it's happening to all of us. Anyway, excuse me for the tears, and I'm not gonna cut it out because that's just who I am, and whatever, man. Anyway, love you guys. I hope this video, I don't know, man, did something for you in your life, and if not, whatever, maybe you enjoyed watching me cry. Anyway, I shall see you in my next video. Comment below your thoughts. I love to talk to you. All right, peace out.